Boys and girls, are you ready? Are you prepared? I am. Are you dressed for the occasion? Semi-finals of the European Championship with Spain and France today. Because we are ready. Hello and welcome to Coffee with Guillem live. I'll tell you how ready we are. We've got an opening sequence. There you go. That's it. Hello, everyone. I'm in Munich at the Allianz Arena already. This is part restaurant, part... Oh, I shouldn't be doing this. Part restaurant, part media hub, a place where people can work. If you don't shout too loud, so if you'd allow me, I wouldn't shout too loud. People are working, are eating, people, meaning media. We are all preparing for what is going to be a long night. Professionally, of course, it gets really exciting. Behind me, there are Spanish journalists. We cannot help it. And I think it goes for every nation that's still left in the tournament. There's a lot of emotion in whatever is written or broadcast. We are not just, made of ice. So there will be the professional side of us and the fan side of us that will be out there. So long day. We all want to be here early, and we all have been here early. And yes, I decided to do this because I think it's a good opportunity to have a look to what's happened, how Spain made it here, anything else that you want to ask, and generally just an overview of the tournament now that we're reaching almost the end. Coming here, I thought of something that hadn't crossed my mind. If Spain lose today, practically I'm done. There's no more to do for me. I'm still going to be in Berlin, which is my base, until the 15th, and that will happen because actually there are things that will happen for me. I have to go to Munich, where there's a literary festival, and I'm going to be reading my book on Ronaldo, my biography of Ronaldo, and talk about my books as well. There's more Coffee with Guillem that I want to do for you. So this is what will happen. Madeline Koenig, thank you very much. Great idea. I suppose you mentioned the possibility of overlooking what's happened in the campaign, in the tournament. Jamela says, what will happen if Spain lose? Everyone saying Spain favorite. I know. We'll get there. I don't want to picture that. I don't think neither of my colleagues can picture that. We see in Spain that can make it. We're quite confident. But why don't we have a look at how we got here? Starting with literally how we did it before France. We went and beat the host nation. And that day, I did a trailer, I'll start again. I did a filming for you of my whole day in Germany that day. What was it? Stuttgart. My way to get to Stuttgart, what happens when I was there. The video is, of course, in YouTube, but let me show you a trailer of it so you get a little bit of a taste of what that day was like and how emotional it all was. That's me getting to the train to go from Berlin to Stuttgart.
What's going on there?
Yeah? It's a famous saxophone player. Sax player.
Him.
Germany.
All right.
A TikTok sensation. He is. Millions of followers. And then I got into this tunnel. And then I got out of the tunnel. Got to the place where I had some potatoes and sausages. Got my way to the stadium. This is the media center. Here's Reeves. Had a little chat with. Big game, big game. Yes. So that was the trailer of my trip to Stuttgart. And I think you've seen one of the bits that I wanted to show you from that video that was wonderfully edited by Arya Yutsu, of course, who is editing every single video of it and is doing a sensational work. Now, the clip I want to show you from that video is the one that as I was saying earlier, as a fan, we're 12-year-olds, aren't we? We cannot stop celebrating and feeling emotional about what happens on the pitch, even though I was in the media seats and even though I was working for media. So I'll take you to the last few minutes of the game. Extra time, this is. It's already 1-1. And I thought we're going to penalties. This is the quarterfinals, Spain, Germany. Have a look.
Against a host nation. 3 minutes.
It was getting there, wasn't it? Had a chance. Germany played better extra time, we have to say. Expected goal suggested that too. So I was fearing the worst. Then oh, I don't know what to. It was my choice to put it on. Oh, boys. I feel emotional watching it.
Get in! Across. They've been doing it all the time. We're allowed in as well.
Colleagues, English colleagues next to me. Paul Hurst and Ian Herbert, and they were celebrating with me. It was an emotional moment because I didn't expect it, and that's the thing. Now, normally at the end, I said normally, very often, it's Spain who loses at the end. I'm from the generation, the pre-2008, 2012 generation that lost a lot. So I think in the back of my mind, it always is that we could lose this at any moment. But no, we beat the host nation. And how did that happen? It was, of course, a game in which Germany played better. We changed formations 3 times. We changed the mind frame 3 times during the game. First, it was about winning it. Then it was about not losing it. That's when we conceded. And in extra time, it was about see if we can win before the penalties. So we even got rid of our wingers with the idea of controlling the game. And yet we conceded right at the end of the 90 minutes. So we had to overcome all those hurdles. In the previous games, if you look at the results, we beat a Croatia side that is possession-based. Then Italy, who tried to keep the ball and build from the back, but couldn't because we didn't let them. So instead, they defended very deep, but we managed to beat that. And Albania, even deeper. And Georgia and Albania were not only defending deep, they were very enthusiastic, weren't they? But we still managed to beat that hurdle. With Germany, as I said, the impression I've got is that they play better, especially extra time, and especially from the moment that Wirtz at half-time and Fulkrug came on in the second half. So it was another test, a different type of test, one of resilience and mental strength. And we beat it. That's why I'm confident today, to the previous question from Jamela, that we can beat France. Yes, we're going into the game thinking we're going to have to try very often. We're going to have to shoot a lot because we're not that efficient. I think we are the 7th team creating clear chances, the 7th in the tournament. So we create a lot. We have the threat of the feeling of threat. It's often there because we play a lot in the last third of the opposition, but we're not very efficient. So we've got to do it a lot. And we leave a lot of space in behind, which France can take advantage of. Still, I think we can actually beat these France. And the impression that we must have is that could happen. Dave is saying Spain has been arguably the most impressive footballing nation on the eye these Euros. I agree. Do you think they have enough in forward positions to get past the French defense? We only need to score once or twice. If France score, they've only scored 3 goals. The best goal scorer is on goal. They had 2 own goals. So Joka was given this morning, quite funny. And then the other goal was a penalty. So they're not creating that much themselves. But I know that with France, just one chance is enough because then they can protect themselves for the rest of the game. And that's why I was on CBS earlier on. And just before I went on air, this image came into my head. Joker, Batman, right? We're the good guys. We're creative. We won the ball. We have players that are exciting. We're aggressive with and without the ball. We want to create chances, convert them if possible, with the good guys. France, on the other hand, they don't maximize the potential. They can play much better. They're conservative. They don't care if you're not impressed. They don't care if they don't play well. They don't care about the spectacle. They're the bad guys, the joker. So we're on a mission here, a mission for football. We want football to go the right way, because actually if France manages to get to the final and win it, will that become the fashionable way of winning? Please no. This is a sport. I know it's a business as well, but it's a sport. So I think what we have is plenty of options to attack in different ways. For me, Spain is the team with more layers. We can defend with pressure high. We can defend in our own box. We only conceded one goal. The other one was an own goal, if you like. All right, we conceded 2 goals, but that's Georgia and Germany in the knockout stages. So we win every game. We don't concede a lot. That means we're defending well. And we, yes, are a bit more direct than we've been. We're 7th now in possession terms in the average of games. 7th used to be the first ones. Because when we have the opportunity to attack down the flank, especially, we do so to Lamine, to Nico. And if it doesn't work that way, if, say, the fullbacks are not helping them or they cannot beat the defenders, you can go inside, because we've got a lot of quality in between the lines with Fabian Ruiz, who's been outstanding, with Dani Olmo, who's been brilliant since he came on, match fit again, Rodri, Morata dropping deep. So yes, I think we have enough to create chances. Then we have to convert. It's a different thing. I've done something. I've done a lot of work this week, but I've done something for the BBC. Filmed with the help of my very good friend and ally, Neil Manship. He was behind the camera, and he actually helped me film this, which is going to be broadcast for the BBC, and it's going to be out as a preview of the game tonight. So I'll give you a little clip, because of course we cannot use the whole lot, as the release of it will be later on. But have a look.
The beginning of the tournament, but under ego-free manager Luis de la Fuente, he's managed to mix things that Spain always did well, possession, with a more direct approach.
Dani Olmo, that's a lovely ball, and it's slotted in.
Plus, there is a togetherness, there is a faith in the collective and the idea that has been missing since the times of Vicente del Bosque.
For the rest, you're going to have to wait after the game. BBC have done a great job. They wanted to reproduce the Coffee with Guillem that we've been doing all tournament and 4 years in a BBC version. So we'll get the whole clip and put it out there at some point before the game, if possible. So, yes, we've got a Spain that has got different ways of attacking, different ways of defending. And we've got a France that basically don't need to do a lot. But they still need to do something, yes? And they haven't been very, very dangerous. A Griezmann that is tired, it seems to me. Mbappe, who's not in good form and very uncomfortable with a broken nose. I think we'll hear more when the tournament finishes, but he's not in a great shape. And Dembélé, who's a coin in the air. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't for him. Yes. When you least expect it, they can just turn on and then they may score. But I still feel that we have enough. So there's more questions, which I'm going to read out, and then that will be another way to continue the conversation. Cam Bissell says, winning every game so far is impressive. You will deserve to win it more than the other semi-finalists. But that's not how it works anyway. That's very true. That's not how it works. But one thing you have to say about the semi-finalists. France, you know how they're going to do it. We've explained it. Spain, they've been maximizing their potential from the beginning to the end in every game. And even, as I said, winning when perhaps we didn't deserve it. England, they're on the way up at the right time. I know there's a lot of debate, but I feel you're going to see the best England in the semi-finals against Netherlands, because they will be able to attack them. There will be spaces. It won't be just about attacking a team that's very, very defensive. I think tomorrow you're going to see the best England. So they are on the way up at the right time. I feel that. I genuinely feel that. Even though there's still some mental hang-ups on how they play, on fear, on pressure. They still got to release that. But maybe a good semi-final will do that for them. Netherlands, again, they had moments of brilliance throughout the tournament. Netherlands started doing well with Poland, a draw with France that was key to them. They thought that with that they could actually lead the group. Instead, they finished third, and now look at them. They are in the semifinals. They did much better against Romania and struggled, but beat Turkey, having considered first. They got moments of brilliance, but they don't have 90 minutes in them. They just don't. They haven't had that. But with those moments of brilliance, it's taking them to the semi-finals. They will scare England, I'm sure. I feel England have got enough. I think England will be in the final, and I hope that the other semi-finalists will be Spain, because there are football gods, and football gods tend to gift finals and trophies to those that do things well. You'd think so, but yes, that's not exactly how it works. More questions for Mr. Bird's Nest. Says thoughts on why Nico has had more impact in the national team than Iñaki Williams. I imagine you mean Iñaki Williams. Iñaki, of course, doesn't play for Spain, plays for Ghana, but still trying to find his feet with Ghana. Nico, you need the right context for him. And Ernesto Valverde found it with Athletic Club. Quite clearly, he's managed to create the conditions for a team that attacks with pace, because they've got pace up front. With Guruceta, the centre forward, he can hold the ball and distract the centre backs, and link up as well with Nico, who's getting used to getting to the box, and with Iñaki Williams on the other wing. It's been the best Athletic Club in the way they attack for a long, long while. With Spain, again, because it's a team of many layers, with players that understand what Luis de la Fuente is trying to do, meaning attack down the wings, if it's possible, create the conditions for the wingers to be 1v1 against the defenders. And once they're allowed to do that. Nico's enjoying that. So is Lamine. But Nico's enjoying that. Now, if there is a but, if you have to add a but to their performances, both of Nico and Lamine, is that they need to score more. They create chances. I think Lamine is the player second in the history in terms of chances created in this tournament. First one is Xavi Hernandez of Barcelona. I think he was in 2008. So he hasn't scored yet. He should. He's only 16. I'm saying that's the room of improvement for him. For Nico Williams, he scored once, but could do it more often. Imagine if you had wingers that score 3 goals per tournament. Oh my God. And with Morata scoring regularly, let's see if he continues. By the way, he's been suggesting that this week that he's a little bit fed up with how he's treated in Spain, wants to go away from Atletico Madrid, but may actually call it a day for the national side as well. So we have to find another striker. And there is a point in what he says. Perhaps he's a little bit too sensitive for it, but it's true that there's not much respect for those that have done well. But there's this impression that Morata has not done well. Rick on BBC Bike 5, BBC, I'll say it again, 5 Live Breakfast at the BBC yesterday morning was saying, don't want to be disrespectful, but Morata hasn't scored a lot. He has. Almost a goal every 2 games for the national side. That's very good. There's the impression that he's not great. He's done very well, though, and does a lot of other things, but perhaps he doesn't get the recognition he deserves, so that's why he's thinking of leaving. So that's why I feel that Nico has had a very good impression. More questions from MB. Why in such a couple of days is Nico Williams now a big transfer target for Barcelona? What's changed after seeming like they couldn't afford him? They say they can. That's what they say. We don't know if they can. Paid 58 million euros. But by saying they can, I suppose the market changes a little bit for Barcelona. We still don't know fully if they can go to the rule of 1v1, which is that every money that they bring, they can spend. They still haven't got that. I haven't seen that confirmed. It seems like they may be able to. But in any case, let's see if they just talk because they want to be part of the conversation. And Joan Laporta, the president of Barcelona, likes to be in the news constantly. I think there's a strategy to have Barcelona in the news constantly. And he came out with that line. Who says those things? If you can afford it, you can afford it. If you cannot, you cannot. But why do you need to say it? Why you need to brag? Because you need to create this illusion that Barcelona is in a great place. And we know that they're still struggling. They're still trying to come out of a very difficult position. Is that idea, it used to be more prevalent in the past when there weren't so much data about players, so much information about players. that you will want to get the Poborski, the big play of the tournament, and it was fashionable to do that, even though he may not suit your team, even though he may just have been a play of 7 games instead of a full season. There's less of that now. But by Laporta saying Nico, who has been outstanding, and there is a lot of room of improvement for him, by saying that, you're in the conversation. I think that's why it's happening. Before we continue with the questions, we did a podcast with 5 Live with Julian Laurence, Football Daily. Today he's come out. Euros, I think they call it Football Daily in the Euros, or Euros Football Daily. It's the usual daily football podcast that is presented generally by Steve Crossman or Mike Chapman of Kelly Cates. This one, in this occasion, is presented by Steve Crossman. And as part of the chat, and you can find it on BBC Sounds, and you can download it in usual places, is a conversation with Julian Laurence and me about France and Spain and a little bit of banter. We get on really well, of course. We EuroLeague's colleagues. It's a good podcast. You can put it on before the game starts if you want. But we did something else. We did a combined 11 of France and Spain. The whole clip is in the social media of BBC, of 5 Live, on Instagram, on Twitter, and so on. But let me show you a little clip of our battle to put our players, both for Spain or France, as the combined 11. That's Jules and me talking earlier yesterday.
You say it.
Magic Mike, I think.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
love Mike
I
Munoz
think so.
so much.
Right back.
Goalkeeper.
I like Koundé, but I know. I'm with you.
Carvajal.
In Carvajal. Is left back a bit of a debate? We didn't expect Cucurella at this level,
True.
right? I would personally probably go for Theo overall, not just on this tournament, but overall.
Possibly you're right, because he is doing what he's asked to do, but he could do more. Centre backs.
Ooh.
Yes, I know.
Well, I'll lend you two
Okay.
of my boys.
No, we're all right. We already got 2 French centre backs anyway.
So you pick Laporte, yeah?
I think Laporte has to be in it, yes.
So let me have Saliba next to Laporte. then.
Oh, Saliba's been brilliant.
He's been, for me, the best defender in the tournament.
Agreed.
So let's have
Agreed.
Laporte and Saliba.
Oh, what a partnership that is.
And then we talk about midfielders, and then forwards in a 4-3-3 formation. And Mbappe is not in the team. You need to watch that, because it's, I think, quite funny. So let's wait for more questions. As you sense here, the place is getting fuller and fuller. I'm going to have something to eat before I go into the stadium. It's, of course, 6:23 in Germany. The game starts at 9 o'clock, so we've got still plenty of time. But we're pacing ourselves. That's why we're all here, already getting ready for the big game. So Pablo Coppola says, how great was it to bump into Rafa Benitez? Can you share a gem that didn't make it onto your video? That's one of the great things of the Euros, that wherever you walk, there is somebody that shares his knowledge, his experience, has a chat with you, because I know so many people throughout the years. One of my best, closest friends, let's call it that, friends in football is Rafa Benitez. So I know he was at the Adlon but I almost said hostel. It just happens to be the most expensive hotel in Berlin. He was at the Adlon. The Adlon is, by the way, do you remember when Michael Jackson showed his kid through the window? He was going to throw him out. Oh, that was the Adlon Hotel. And he was there. And I said, can I pop in? And I asked him actually to do a little bit for CBS, because I felt that that knowledge is always appreciated by the guys at Golazo. And yes, they had 15 minutes with him. But one of the interesting things is that I kind of suggested to him, and some of it is in the video, national side should be the next thing for him. And he's had offers already. But I'm thinking, no, a big national side, one with ambition. And he did say in the CBS show, not in the video, but we spoke about it after the video was filmed with me, that, the USA is interesting. Of course it's interesting, because he offers that kind of ambition that he's looking for, a team that wants to progress, where he can influence not just the 11 that plays and the substitutes, but the whole thing. How can United States can become more competitive? He can help with that. So, let's see where that goes. But when I put that out there and discussed it on social media, a lot of people seem to be taken aback that Rafa will be interested in that kind of job. But yes, I think he would be, given the opportunity. So that was one of the things that came up. And there's a lot of other stuff that obviously it's off the record. But yeah, I've met Arsene Wenger, cross paths with David Moyes, with Rafa Benitez, Chris Sutton, and Ian Dennis, of course, in Five Live, and Mark Chapman. They were on their way up here. Spanish ex-players and pundits. I'll see who we meet today, and if I've got the chance, I'll film something. I'll have it on social media. So let's see if there are more questions. But one thing that you have to say about this came on the conversation with Rafa Benitez as well. Trends from the tournament. Not many goals. In fact, it's the lowest amount of goals since 1996. And that is surprising to a point. Teams are defending really, really well. It's difficult to beat them. Of course, it's much more difficult to create when the teams have been so solid and so well structured and so well coached, with players that they are, playing in European competitions, most of them, and they're really well coached in the teams, which means that they've got a lot of layers and adaptability. So difficult to beat all that. But I put it down also to the fact that France has scored 3 goals in the tournament. Normally is an average of, by now, 8-9, and that England is struggling to score goals as well. If the two of the biggest powers, the ones that have made it into the semifinals, don't get, I'm not saying the 22 or so that the best teams that get to the final could reach, but certainly they could have had a bigger average, and the average will have gone up. So, and that is down to France, as we say, not maximizing the potential, and England improving. I think they may score more goals. So yeah, there was another question which I'll read out if we move on from Pablo Coppola. Thank you very, very much for being around, for listening, for talking to me anyway. Gregory Falique says, hey Guillem, which have you been finding between the French or English media and fans to be more disappointed in the style of play or lack thereof of their teams in this tournament so far? Without any doubt, the English. Because the French media and fans know what the Shams is about. And he said it yesterday in the press conference. He says, if you don't like it, switch to another channel. Forgetting that it shouldn't be all about winning. Well, okay, for him it is. That's an argument that even I will never agree on. And the fans and media are used to that. And of course, they have been involved in so many finals and so many semi-finals in recent times. That means that you have to say the formula is successful. England, they do this thing where if their expectations is low, as it was in the previous 2 tournaments, they get really excited as things progress, and everybody gets in the bandwagon, and logically that they do, of enjoying England and wanting England to win, and sending football home. But in this tournament, because they managed to get to a semi-finals of a World Cup and a final of a European Championships, it's like, right, the progression is winning now. And I think they went into it, this is media, commentators, as winners already. So you can only lose from there because there's only one winning side. They may win it, but as you go as winners and you expect England to go far, you start wondering with the players that they've got, why they don't play well. And then they start pointing the finger of blame on either the manager, mostly the manager, the players, whatever it is. And then the whole harmony breaks a little bit. As winning is the only thing that's expected of this tournament, there's not much excitement about getting there because they got to win it, because everybody says England are favourites and they were the number 1 favourites for the betting sides. But next to it now is this idea that actually they have to play well. And it's an interesting debate that normally is not related to English culture, but Pep Guardiola has confused matters. Now it's about winning, and if you can play well, it's even better. That's what English fans demand, and they're not getting it. But I do believe that they are getting better. They already got better in the last 16, in the quarterfinals. And I think you're going to see a better England against Netherlands, and they will have to play well in a final to win it as well. It's not just enough with them to play well. So, yeah, the English are, to this point, disappointed. I'm hearing so many that don't want to watch England, this and that. Just wait. When the game comes at 8 o'clock UK time tomorrow, you'll get excited. But it's true. If you don't win with this way of playing, what is the left afterwards? Just to defeat. You cannot say, yeah, but we play well. As I would say, if we get defeated today, I'd say, yeah, but actually, we enjoyed our journey. And isn't life and football about that? About enjoying the journey as well as getting to the final destination. So we still got a couple of minutes left. If there is any more questions from you. Satya Kalipali says from the US, I think Rafa will be an excellent manager for us. Keep it going. Keep it going. Convince him. Maybe get to the federation. Tell them that it is a good idea. I think he would be certainly interested. Siddhartha Marwaga says, hey, Guillem, what is your opinion on the impact Manchester City players are having this tournament? Well, let's see. I mean, the first one that I think of is it's Foden. I think defensively, Akanji Ake have done very, very well. John Stones, yeah, okay. He was at fault in the last goal that England conceded. The Foden, for me, is a bit of a conundrum. I think Foden and Bellingham cannot play together. They basically do the same role. And even though with the new formation, with 3 at the back, it allows them to play in the middle, I still feel that Bellingham would be enough. And that perhaps you can add another midfielder that gets into the box, that doesn't want the ball all the time to the feet, that doesn't need to impress. So it's Foden or Bellingham. For me, Bellingham, even though he looks like as well that he's struggling a little bit physically. So the thing with City is like they drilled to such a point that when they go into the pitch, not only they know what's going to happen, they know with their eyes closed what they have to do and where their teammates are. And you don't get that with England. You don't get that with the national side generally. So, yeah, perhaps the context to see those Manchester City in the best form is Manchester City. And especially offensively, you need a lot of things to happen for Foden to... There's a lot of movement around him with City, isn't it? There's a lot of players moving around. It's difficult to defend. He finds a little bit more pockets of space. He does it at a pace that he's comfortable with. A lot of things that make him play better. Here, he wants the ball, and then everything's a bit slow because there is not so much movement, and he gets affected by it. But as I say, I think Bellingham and Foden use the same space, and that doesn't help them get better, because then what Bellingham tends to do is drop deeper, because he doesn't get so much of the ball, leaving space for Foden. But when he gets there, Bellingham wants to get involved. Well, enough to get to the semifinals, you have to say. So no criticisms. Just thinking that perhaps a different kind of balance in midfield would be better for England. So Mike says, Guillem, how is Saka considered amongst the European journalists this competition? They like him, but they only seen him play well in the last game, I think. Saka tries and tries, but again, if you don't create the conditions for the wingers to actually exploit their pace or their creativity, if you go the ball to Saka when he's defended by 2, very hard. But he was getting better, and it is getting better. And I think against Netherlands, you're going to see more of Saka because there will be more space. And he feels he can do an impact. I see him standing tall and wanting the ball and trying things. I mean, if it doesn't work, try them again. So, not considered one of the best yet. I think he needs an impact in European competitions, a Champions League final, or internationally as well. With him, the winning goal against Netherlands, maybe that kind of thing to be talked about as one of the best. On that, by the way, I'm just going to put something out there. I think Carvajal should be considered for the top 5 in the Ballon d'Or. Carvajal has been absolutely brilliant. I know he's a fullback. He scores goals as well, and he deserves attention. But I feel, talking about attention, I feel that it's a way, what I was going to say, what's in this Musrik question. Who's your underrated player for Spain national team? Let me take that question a little bit different. Don't you feel that Spanish players are underrated? That they're not considered the best? And when they play, they had a lot of layers. They do things very well. They understand what the game requires. They've got technical ability, tactical understanding, adaptability, a lot of things that make you a really good player, but no marketing. No marketing. It feels like Spain could actually, Spanish players with more marketing would be considered some of the best in the world. Fabian Ruiz, for instance, Dani Olmo. For some, is an unknown quantity just because he plays at RB Leipzig. Come on, he's absolutely brilliant. Now, Lamine, yes, we all know him at Barcelona. Nico Williams, everybody's talking about him. Yes, Rodri is the best holding midfielder in the world, perhaps one of the best players in the world, top 3. But he was 5th, I think, in the Ballon d'Or, wasn't he? Anyway, the question was, who's your underrated player for Spain national team? Underrated? Laporte. Unai Simon has been doing well, saved a penalty against Croatia and made good saves when it was required. One mistake in the whole tournament, which is good because he always does one or two of those. I hope that's it for him. But Laporte, since he came on, and they had, because he wasn't physically at his best, they did it like a mini pre-season for a week and waited for him to be ready. And he came on in the scene. I think it was for 45 minutes against Albania. Then you could see that he's the marshal at the back. He builds from the back, he drives the ball, but he defends well. He's fast enough. He's our best centre-back, and he will start with Nacho tonight. He's done very well and deserves to be rated, not so much underrated. I put him in that team, as you saw, of combined 11 of France and Spain. So, right, let's leave it here because I'm going to go for something to eat. It's time to actually relax, think about what's coming. I'm just going to get into the stadium, start to smell and sense what's about to happen. Kev says, your videos are brilliant, Guillem. Keep up the good work, mate. Thank you very much. Always appreciate it. Gregory says, thank you for the exhaustive answer to my question, Guillem. I'm here to please you. Saiti said, before you go, Guillem, you're the best. Have a great day. Thank you. Hope to chat with you on Spain versus England final day. I will love that. I'll be busy, I'm sure, but I don't care. It'll be absolutely brilliant. I still got coffee with Guillem prepared for you. 1 or 2 surprises along the way. There will be, of course, daily updates on social media. And enjoy the games as much. You too, all of you, have a great evening and speak to you tomorrow. See you later.